Life spelled backwards is evil.
Oh,
It's
boy.
very odd.
You gotta
It's one of
break
those. It's one of those random things. Random facts. Business expect facts.
random dark facts to
Hey,
start
good
the
morning.
show.
Good morning, everybody.
Join the light-hearted conversation, business conversation that is. WhatsApp is one number, one way to do it to send your messages 0809 444 0981 0809 444 Twitter is live at Smooth981FM, the hashtag Business Express 981, and we're streaming live on YouTube. And who else is live?
Yes.
Wede
Yes.
and Uthman.
Yes. Of Afri Invest.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lagos.
Yes, indeed. Welcome, guys. Welcome. So, where do we begin? We begin, of course, with the stock market. Stock market is also, well, it was live yesterday. To be live at, what time was the market open? 9:30, 10. 27,047.58 points. Market was down by 0.16% yesterday. 13.16 trillion naira is the market cap. Still not much going on our stock exchange, but we continue. Market is down about almost 14% for the year. I think it's 13.94. Yeah. Okay, so where do we begin? Do we begin with the budget news, or shall we begin with this police trust fund tax? Okay, let's start with the budget. So our Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, you know, her portfolio has grown, Zainab Ahmed, said the government plans to spend 9.78 trillion naira in the 2020 fiscal period, compared to, I believe it was 10.06 trillion for 2019.
It's actually 2019 budget is actually 8.9 trillion.
Okay,
so,
but
yeah,
what they
the initial proposed.
that's the initial proposal, right? Okay, thank you for that
yes,
correction. Yeah.
So the actual budget for 2019 is 8.9 trillion.
Okay.
So 9.7 is what they're proposing this year. But I think what we believe is that they should base their budgeted revenue on the actuals for this year,
Okay.
not the budgeted, because I mean the economy is, you cannot compare what they were thinking when they were proposing the 2019 budget is not the current situation now.
Right.
And then things have changed, like the oil price. Okay, in this new budget, they're basing oil price on $55 per barrel.
They've reduced it.
Yeah. The benchmark for 2019 was $60 per
Uh-huh.
barrel, and you know when the oil prices kept declining,
Right.
I think it's about $58 per barrel now.
Right.
So it affected, or there was like a sort of fear, you know, in our oil revenue, which still basically accounts for about 40% of our total revenue.
Right.
Yes, so they should just base it on, it's more efficient, or it makes more sense for them to base it on actual figures for 2019 rather than budgeted figures for
Gotcha.
2019. Also, even looking at the expenditure for 2019,
Mhm.
expenditure to revenue is already about 200%, meaning
Wow.
we are spending 2 times what we budgeted
On
as
personnel costs.
exactly on recurrent expenditure.
Wow. So, and I think even the projected oil production is down as well. Yeah, for 2020 they're looking at 2.18 million barrels per day. I think 2019 was 2.3. So, our listeners, I think for as far as what that means, when someone is telling you that they are revising their projections and things are lower, that's not a good indication. So they're not expecting to make as much for next year. So as we've said before, when was our doomsday edition of this show? Was it on Monday or was it last week? You know, the devaluation, electricity tariffs going up, a number of other things. Now we've got a budget that is reduced. It's doesn't make for a good 2020 as far as next year is concerned. But we are here. Okay, so shall we move on to this is even more good news.
You sound like a cynic.
this is even more good
Love
news
it.
for businesses. So the president signed the Nigeria Police Force Trust Fund Act 2019, President Buhari, and whether I believe how much does this thing tax businesses? It's 0.005. Yeah, 0.005
on
of their after tax profits.
Yes.
So what's that? If you're after
so
tax,
basically contribute 0.05% of your actual tax profit as a small struggling business in the current Nigerian economic space, to the new police trust fund. So the trust fund basically is to make, I mean, under normal circumstances, right, this is actually a positive development because you're trying to strengthen the police force and, you know, create more incentives for the police so that they can do their work better. Basically, and also encourage people to join the police force, right? But we've had we've had contributions like this in the past to the tertiary system, to tertiary education.
The education fund, right?
Yes, and it's basically the implementation of these things. Like if we had this in 2009, the contribution to tertiary sector, and then we know that it's 2019 now, 10 years have passed, and this is what the contribution has particularly helped or done in the tertiary system. People will even be more encouraged to, contribute to probably the police fund to better our police system. That's one side of it. The second side is, businesses are already struggling with the current situation, current state of the economy, and even increasing what they have to pay out, coupled with their taxes, is not really encouraging to small and medium scale businesses. Even large scale businesses would not like to contribute 0.005% of their profit after tax to the police fund, especially when we're not really seeing
the improvements.
Exactly, seeing the improvements in the police sector.
Now, this is I don't know, how do people feel about state police? Valentine, I think you guys have talked about this on Freshly Pressed. Maybe. Or then, even then, if you move it to the states have money to now pay for their
this last thing you just said, that's one of the most crucial points to note, because if moving security, state police, creating state police has a lot of ramifications. It's not just an executive order that will make it turn around. There has to be some adjustments made on the constitution, removing certain things from exclusive lists, moving to concurrent lists, all those other things.
Okay, but the cocoa is that there's no money. And the police force needs more training. They need more. We have what's the
they need
more staff. More incentives, everything.
Before you devolve powers to that level, you need to check, put measures or systems in place so that it's not abused.
Yeah.
So we already know the existing situation.
We just hope that this will not be another form of leakage.
Right, because
we already have. If it's not implemented properly, it's just another form for people to
collect money.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So anyway,
sadly.
Ayo from Sierra Leone says, "Good morning, people. The increase in electricity tariff is a good thing. It will encourage investments, and the extra tax for police is also a good idea. What we should clamor for is transparency."
Where is Yinka? I want to get Yinka's thoughts on this tax.
Correct. You're right. Yinka actually comes up to say, "I think what you should have started with is what they intend to borrow 1.7 trillion naira to fund the 2020 budget." I think. Seeing that news yesterday for the first time in my life, I asked myself,
Yoruba Kilo Tunde.
And my wife was like, "Guy, what's up now? Are they asking to borrow them?" Strangely, I was disturbed.
He does make a good point.
Yes,
the West, borrowing. What's our debt service to revenue? It's not almost 60% or so. 60 naira out of every 100 the Nigeria makes is going towards servicing our debt. So it is.
That's scary.
Yeah, and if you are reducing your benchmark for oil, you are reducing your projected. If you are reducing what you expect to receive in the next year, how do you now, fund it?
Darlington from Papa says, "Good morning. When this crazy idea of closing the borders to ward off importation of essential consumables is lifted, we all calculate side by side the FX saved or spent for importing PMS, aka fuel, and that of NMPCs on the recovery, aka fuel subsidy. So last, we'll all get sense."
Thanks for that. That's another heavy cost. That's another heavy cost that we pay in after fuel subsidy.
Rotimi from Isolo says, "Why is government planning to devalue the naira?"
Rotimi, why? Because reserves are down, Abi. The oil prices have reduced. We're not getting as many dollars.
It gets to a stage where the devaluation is inevitable. Right. So it's just basically how they go about it that matters. They cannot keep pegging the naira at a fictitious level when the demand and supply is getting something else. So it's always good for them to allow a free float, but if they cannot, it has to be in line with the current economic conditions.
Careful with that free floats word. They've attacked me on this show for using that word. Where is Lawrence or Lawson? Yeah, okay.
Whatever happened to our gold reserve?
Gold waiting? Which gold reserve? We have one, but I don't think it's I can't remember what the amount is.
Russia's gold reserve right now has crossed $100 billion.
I even hear China is buying more gold as well, and gold is at $1,500 an ounce.
I'm sure at some point we had.
At some point we had. We should probe our government. Uthman, let's bring you in here. Let's talk housing. Uthman, we've got some news here that Lagos State is aggressively pushing to tackle the housing demand supply gap. I want to get a house. I want to start a family.
We all want a house.
I don't want to be paying rent. I want to rent to own. Uthman, what are we looking at? I think they added 492 units.
Yeah.
So essentially, for you to understand our housing deficit in Lagos, okay, I think we should look at two perspectives, right? We should be looking at the geographical context of Lagos and the demographic characteristic of Lagos. If you look at Lagos is perhaps the smallest state in the country, right? Then if you look at the numbers, they are quite explosive, about 20 million people in Lagos. So I think if you look at that, you wouldn't be surprised about the 3 million deficit we have. So the new sheriff in town is trying, having delivered 492 housing units with more to come.
Okay.
I think for us to actually curtail that deficit, we should look at policies. We should be creative, right? We should be looking at encouraging private sector play in that space, okay? We should be looking at incentives to drive our private sector to invest in a miles and affordable housing scheme. Outside the financing creativity, we should also look at structural creativity. Okay, Lagos is quite choked and it's quite small, as we said earlier. So we can start exploring options of building high rather than building horizontally, okay?
Right.
That way we are saving space and I think we'll be getting more for the housing place. Okay, we should also try to look at the fact that since Lagos is small, however, we have some satellite towns, okay, bordering Lagos and its neighboring states. We should start looking at those places, developing those places. It is, however, worthy of note that housing can't work in isolation, okay? If you are going to be building houses around Ikorodu or somewhere in Ekpe on the boundary of Lagos and Ogun State, we should look at things like transport infrastructure. They are quite important. If I'm living in Ikorodu and I'm working in VI, I should be able to access VI in less than 1 hour through the ferry, through the water.
God bless you, sir.
I was already like, what?
No. I mean, in a developed country or a developing country, it should be less than 15 minutes.
Exactly. Solid point. Okay, keep going.
So I think that's what the government should be looking at right now. They should be looking at encouraging private sector and working with other players in that space to encourage infrastructure development there.
Cool.
Although I've been seeing more traffic around the last one.
Yes, school is resuming.
No, I'm not talking about vehicular traffic. Boat traffic, marine traffic.
You know, I haven't tried that.
I have noticed.
I can swim though. Please, if you want to try, if you want to use the boats, please, for those listeners out there, please know how to swim first before you do it. But I'm gonna try that.
Yes, sure. Life jackets are always provided. Yes, I see that.
But please,
Sheryl says, whenever I hear Nigerian borrowing again, I remember a saying from one of the primary school teachers back then: "He who goes a borrowing goes a sorry."
Yeah, solid point.
So Desani has carried all of the gold because his answer to my good question. So Desani has carried it. So we need homes for 20 million people. So let's build 500 homes.
Heavy sarcasm from Sheon there. Heavy.
Yinka is back. He says. Yeah, so I've been thinking about to pay for rent now, and I can't go to my landlord, trying to imagine his response. So whoever brought this good idea into our subconscious in the first place, it makes sense. It actually makes a lot of sense.
Well, what Yinka is saying is that he's talking about converting it, the liquidity of gold. I think that's his issue, and I get his point because it's a store of values. You know, in case of any eventualities. Yeah, that's
Benga Kamu says housing units delivered by the present government in Lagos was done by the past administration. Only the governor then didn't commission it.
Okay, good point.
Rainmaker, we see a message. It's pretty long.
Yeah, Rainmaker always sends us his. We have to start summarizing Rainmaker's messages. Rainmaker, don't worry.
Okay. In summary, he says the worst happened. We got $42 billion averagely for 2020. We planned 2.1 million per day. Worst case, we do 1.65 million per day due to detentions and all bunkering. In a year, in 365 days, because we likely will have holidays. We do exploration and shipment for just 320 days for the year of 2020. We peg exchange rate at 305 per dollar, which may go higher. Putting all these assumptions together, that's 7.38 trillion for revenues next year. As Weather had said, if all sector makes 40% of our revenues, then the non-oil sector should contribute 60% of that. Means we should get 18 trillion naira next year.
11.8 actually.
11.8. Okay. So what's the boring, please?
Good.
Why are we still boring?
Hey,
Rainmaker,
we're spending more than
we need to bring Rainmaker as an analyst on the show.
Yinka is such a cynic. Yinka said I should go and fuel my car with gold. It's okay, we're done.
Weather and Uthman. Uthman, good debut. Good to have you on the show from Afri Invest. Solid analyst from Afri Invest. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you all. Also, an analyst on WhatsApp that are listening to us, like Rainmaker and everybody else. Thank you all for your messages.
Shout out to you. Have very important information coming up next. You're still staying tuned to Smooth 98.1.
Express, brought to you by InterSwitch.
I mean, you can almost imagine them in the